A few days ago, we had some very sad news that Amen frontman Casey Chaos had tragically passed away. The news first came down over the weekend from Brian Pereira, the CEO and founder of Cleopatra Records, and then it was, of course, later confirmed by a number of people close to Casey, including a statement straight from the Amen Facebook page. And at the time that the news broke, there was no cause of death revealed, but that has now changed as Casey's close friend, the photographer and video director Dean Karr, he shared an obituary for Casey on his Instagram. I believe Dean is the one who wrote the obituary. I'll put a link to his Instagram down below. You can check it out. But the obituary, of course, reveals how Casey died. And, I got to say, obviously it's a terrible situation regardless, but once you know the context and how Casey was found, it really is just absolutely heartbreaking. Here's what the obituary says. Hardcore punk singer Casey Chaos, Karr of the band Amen, passed away on December 20th, 2024 at roughly 10:20 p.m. in his Laurel Canyon home. He was excited for his mother's arrival from Melbourne, Florida to spend Christmas with him and had sent a limousine to retrieve her from LAX airport. The mother arrived at 10:45 p.m. and after no response to her knocking on the door, she let herself in with a spare key. Upon opening the door, she discovered Casey sitting on the floor with his back against the sofa and head tilted back. He had suffered a massive heart attack. Casey had been dealing with heart issues, poor circulation, and high blood pressure for the last few years. Regardless, we lost a great man, musician, friend, and son. Casey proved to the industry to always be yourself. No rules applied to this rock icon. Casey Chaos had also played bass in Christian Death with Roz Williams and Rick Agnew. Other bands include Disorderly Conduct and Scum. Power hitters Dave Lombardo, Roy Mayorga, and Shannon Larkin have laid down drum tracks to be included in an upcoming new Amen album being finished in London by John King and Oliver Kenny. Casey was cremated on December 23rd, 2024 at Pierce Brothers Valhalla Memorial Park in North Hollywood, California. Memorial services for Casey will be announced at a later date. Casey Chaos is survived by his mother, Tamble Chmielewski, and her dog, Momo. I gotta say, as a parent myself, that is just absolutely heartbreaking and terrible to hear. I can't even imagine experiencing something like that for myself. So rest in peace, Casey Chaos. Condolences to his family and friends. But I guess on somewhat of a positive note, in the first video when we talked about Casey's death, when the news first broke, we talked that there was some work that was done on an album for Amen that was never released. It never came out. I'm not sure how much of it was even finished. I mean, this is going back to, 2015 or something like that, I believe. But now, according to that obituary, it sounds like it's actually going to happen, which will be great when that comes out, and going to include some well-known names like Shannon Larkin, Dave Lombardo, and Roy Mayorga. And Roy actually just made a post the other day upon Casey's passing, talking about a project that the two of them had together alongside Stig Miller of Amoebix and False Fed, where I guess they had 18 songs recorded. Only a few of them had vocals, so we'll see what happens. Would be cool for sure if some of those released at some point. And we talked a little bit more about Casey Chaos's background and some of his other projects outside of Amen in the first video I did on this, which I will put a link to down below if you want to check that out if you're not overly familiar with Casey Chaos and his career. But that's all I got for you for right now. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Rest in peace, Casey Chaos.